that was yesterday, and actually it was a couple of day process, and started after I talked to Coach Beckman, but there's some things and some things changed. They as the process went on, and tough thing kids had to kids are struggling with it still a little bit. Bless their hearts, but there's just some things that you weigh everything the best you can, and just decision that we had to make based on factors that probably will never come to light and probably don't need to. But it was a tough decision, but it's just I think it's one we need to make. So.
Do you know? Can you tell us where you're going, or do you have a job
Yeah,
set up?
yeah. I mean, there's been a bunch of opportunities, and matter of fact, I got a call from someplace right before I walked on the field that pretty salty. But I told someone I was gonna, I joined their staff, but they got to be the ones to do all the releasing of that. So, but that doesn't stop people from calling and inquiring, and our defense. Defensive staff and players did such a good job this year that it's afforded me some opportunities. So anyway, but we're getting ready for the bowl game now, and that's where all the focus is. I actually had, aside from having a cold, got a decent night's sleep last night for the first night in a while. So.
What do you think about their decision to keep Coach Gilmore and what that means for this
Fantastic. I told Coach Beckman that any of the defensive staff would be tremendous asset to him and the team, and he's got numbers that haven't been down that road that he's on. I had to do the same thing. So I know you have to make decisions, and I think that would definitely be an asset. Keith's a great coach. He's done. You look at the players he's brought to the forefront in 2 years since I've been here. So he couldn't be doing a better job.
Were you always going to coach the bowl? Were there a couple situations?
Yeah, you know what? I was never led to believe after I got asked to be interim that I wasn't. If I'd have gone to a place that wanted me there immediately, then that might have changed. But excuse me. But that I asked Coach. I said, as long as I I'd still like to finish out this bowl, and he said that'd be great. So that's where that's at. Excuse me. Half pneumonia here.
Any chance any of the Coach Gilhammer or Coach West could go with you wherever you go?
Well, I'd
next?
love that. I would love that. It's not up to me. And if any openings occur or there are any spots, you couldn't find two better coaches, two better people. So that'd be great. That'd be exciting, and they know the system, and that'd be a great asset.
This was already going to be an odd situation because you have an interim coach in a bowl game, but is it even more odd now that you've made your decision that you're
No, I actually think it's a little cleaner, and
okay.
I've been through these before. There was 3 times at Memphis, and then in other situations where there was a change in coaches, and for the players' sake, sometimes too, it might be just as easy for them to have a fresh start. So there's no hanging on, and there's no, well, he said this, and we used to do it like that. There is only one way to do it now. It's Coach Beckman's way. And, he doesn't know me well enough to know that I think about other people first a lot of the time. And, I think about how it affects the players on the team. And, I think for their sake, because what happens is as soon as there's adversity, then who gets blamed and whose fault and this and that. And so it's better just to start from scratch and let it be a clean slate.
I know you don't know Coach Beckman well yet, but what are your impressions of him from just the conversations you've had and what he might bring to the
Well, I think he's working his butt off in recruiting right now, which I know that's what you need to do. And he's been very cordial and very professional with me. And he couldn't have been nicer at handling the situation. So, there's been probably, we talked for about 1 hour and 20 minutes. We were supposed to have 30-minute meetings. We talked for about 1 hour and 20 minutes. And, I think he seems like he's a nice guy and a good guy. But sometimes being a head coach, you can't be a nice guy. But we all understand the rigors of that. I'm sure he's proven and he knows how to do it. And confident that the guys here will be in good hands.
will the family stay here for the rest of the year? Do you know?
No, not if we can find a place. Now they've set up provisions where I'm going for that, but you know we're gonna try. I'm gonna try to get them moved as reasonably as fast as I can because you know I don't need to be without my family. I don't think any of us like being without our family. There's enough of that during the season because the hours we work and during recruiting and all that stuff. So you know it's we're gonna we'll do it in a prudent way and what's the best for the kids, and obviously we got to move and get a house and all that.
Have you accepted another job, or you're leaning toward it, or how would
Well,
you describe it?
no, what you got to do, the
the
best way to say it, there's windows.
Okay.
And windows open and windows close, and if you let a window close, then it's hard to go back. So, you know, I've told a guy and I've given my word, and
Okay.
you know, I did it Tommy Bowden and Les Miles called, and I didn't change, and you know, I've regretted my little drive coming over here, you know, and putting Coach Zook through what I put him through when I was on my way here, and that's not me, and so
Okay.
I'll make sure that I do what's me, and that's always try to do right.
You told us Tim initially offered you the co-coordinator position. Does that have anything to do with your ultimate decision?
Now, you know what? All that's kind of past history now, so we're just gonna move on. And, you know, that probably wasn't as big a deal as some other stuff. So that's past history, and we're gonna work on this, getting this team ready. I tell you what, we really look like a confident team out there at practice today on both sides of the ball. The guys really starting to have a feel for what we're trying to get done. I thought the kicking game stuff looked as good as it's been since we've been bowl practicing, and I was very, very excited watching practice today. And the team looked very confident. Defensive guys were extremely chippy. When I mean that, they were getting after butt, and that's what you got to do on defense. And the scout team guys better bow up a little bit because those guys are coming to play, and they got a lot to prove. And there shouldn't be a group in the whole country that's got a bigger chip on their shoulder than our offensive guys. So we're gonna come out. We're gonna give it everything we've got, and you know, we'll let the chips fall where they